January 20, 2024, News Report 1. The Chinese Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Affairs announced that the China-U.S. Agricultural Joint Commission held a meeting in Washington on the morning of January 18. The meeting was co-chaired by Chinese Minister of Agriculture and Rural Affairs Tang Renjian and U.S. Secretary of Agriculture Vo Wok. This marks the reassembly of the China-U.S. Agricultural Commission's Joint Committee after a gap of 9 years. During the meeting, both sides had in-depth discussions on smart agriculture, food security, people-to-people exchanges, and trade facilitation. They agreed to continue regular exchanges and maintain the stable operation of the China-U.S. Agricultural Commission. Vo Wok, in a statement after the meeting, expressed the desire to discuss opportunities for increasing U.S. agricultural product entry into the Chinese market, which seems to be one of the major concerns for the United States. In addition, Reuters reported that the Ministry of Agriculture confirmed that a private Chinese company recently purchased 290,000 tons of soybeans, the first purchase since December 9 last year. It is expected that China will import 102 million tons of U.S. soybeans this year, a 1% increase compared to the previous year. This import move may be creating an atmosphere for the China-U.S. Agricultural Commission, and China, to some extent, relies on U.S. soybean supply. News Report 2. On January 19, U.S. President Biden had a phone call with Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu, marking their first communication since December 23 last year. The call lasted for about 30 to 40 minutes, during which both sides expressed their positions on the situation in Israel and Gaza. Biden expressed his desire for normalization of relations between Israel and Palestine, as well as Israel and Arab countries, through two-state solutions. However, Netanyahu, on January 18, expressed opposition to the establishment of a Palestinian state, reiterating his stance. White House spokesperson Kobe stated after the call that Biden still believes in the prospect and possibility of establishing a Palestinian state but acknowledges that much work needs to be done. Kobe also mentioned that the U.S. opposes a comprehensive ceasefire in Gaza, believing that it would only benefit Hamas. However, the U.S. supports temporary humanitarian ceasefires, hoping to rescue hostages and allow aid to enter Gaza. In a press briefing at the White House, Biden emphasized the diversity of solutions and tried to downplay differences with Netanyahu on the issue of establishing a Palestinian state. Additionally, Russian Deputy Foreign Minister Bogdanov met with Hamas Political Bureau member Mazuk in Moscow on January 19, urging Hamas to release kidnapped civilians, including 3 Russians. Bogdanov also held talks with the Israeli ambassador to Russia, stating that Russia supports a comprehensive resolution of the Middle East issue based on UN Security Council resolutions, which would be greatly beneficial to Russia. News Report 3. Reuters reported that the governments of the Philippines and Canada signed a Memorandum of Understanding on Defense Cooperation on January 19. After the signing, the defense and military institutions of both countries began collaborative efforts covering military education, training, information sharing, peacekeeping operations, and disaster relief. Philippine Defense Secretary Teodoro stated that both countries plan to sign a mutual access agreement in the future, allowing Canadian troops to participate in military exercises and enter the Philippines. Prior to this, the Philippines had signed mutual access agreements with the United States, Australia, and Japan. This indicates the Philippines' effort to strengthen defense and play a greater role in regional affairs while balancing relations with China. News Report 4. Reuters reported on January 19 that the Federal Reserve fined $32.4 million on the Industrial and Commercial Bank of China, ICBC, New York branch. This decision came after a joint investigation by the Federal Reserve and the New York Department of Financial Services, revealing that ICBC New York branch employees disclosed confidential supervisory information to foreign regulatory authorities, possibly including the People's Bank of China. The investigation also uncovered regulatory failures at ICBC New York branch, such as inadequate anti-money laundering measures between 2020 and 2022. This indicates a U.S. investigation into Chinese banks and the imposition of sanctions. Such actions may be part of the U.S.'s firm stance on international financial institutions complying with regulatory standards, possibly related to trade and financial relations between the U.S. and China. News Report 5. Reuters reports that the U.S. House Committee on Homeland Security and the Committee on Strategic Competition with the CCP are investigating the operations of Switzerland's ABB in China. The two committees issued a letter to ABB this week. ABB is a well-known Swiss mechanical company, ranking among the largest globally. The letter points out that Shanghai Zhenhua Heavy Industries Company, ZPMC, installed ABB's equipment on a crane, which was then exported to the United States. This crane has the capability to land and track shipping containers, raising suspicions that China may use this ability to gather information on U.S. military imports and exports globally. The U.S. Congress demands ABB to clarify its relationship with ZPMC and whether ABB's installed equipment assists China in intelligence gathering, posing a potential threat to U.S. national security. Last year, the U.S. Congress had previously asked ABB to explain its relationship with China, but many questions remained unanswered. Consequently, the U.S. Congress decided to hold a hearing, summoning ABB's management. Not responding to questions may be deemed unwise, indicating the U.S. Congress's vigilance regarding matters related to national security and its actions to ensure transparency. News Report 6. NTD reports that according to data released by the Hong Kong Bankruptcy Administration on January 19, there were 7,860 bankruptcy applications in Hong Kong last year, a YoY increase of 13.6%, reaching a new high since 2020. Additionally, 566 companies applied for bankruptcy, a YoY increase of 17.7%, hitting a new high since 2009. In December alone, 675 individuals applied for bankruptcy, a YoY increase of 36%, and 41 companies applied for bankruptcy, a YoY increase of 28%. Lu Dabong, honorary chairman of the Hong Kong Small and Medium Enterprises Association, stated that after the resumption of cross-border travel between mainland China and Hong Kong last year, Hong Kong's economic recovery did not meet expectations. Some businesses performed poorly, facing difficulties in cash flow, leading to bankruptcy applications. He also pointed out that changes in tourists' consumption patterns made it challenging to stimulate Hong Kong's retail, catering, and hotel industries. The outlook for Hong Kong's business environment this year remains pessimistic, with accountants indicating that 500 companies applied for bankruptcy at the end of last year. These bankruptcy cases will be processed this year, leading to a further increase in the number of bankruptcies. This reflects challenges in various aspects of Hong Kong's economy, especially considering global economic uncertainties and the impact of the pandemic. News Report 7. According to data released by the University of Michigan on January 19, the U.S. Consumer Confidence Index for January is 78.8. A MOM increase of 21.4, representing a robust growth of 13.1%. The market expectation was 73, but the actual data of 78.8 reached the highest level since July 2021, showing a 60% increase from the historical low in June 2022. The index measuring consumer expectations is 75.9, and the index assessing the current economic situation is 83.3. Both of these data points are the highest since 2021. This indicates that U.S. consumers' confidence in the economy continues to rise, suggesting a strong consumer market in the United States. Meanwhile, expectations for inflation are decreasing, with consumers predicting a 2.9% inflation rate for the next year, a 0.2% MOM decrease to the lowest level since December 2020. The 5-year inflation expectation is 2.8%, a 0.1% MOM decrease. Additionally, the National Association of Realtors, NR, reported that U.S. existing home sales in December decreased by 1% to an annual rate of 3.78 million units. However, the median sale price for existing homes was $382,600, a YOY increase of 4.4%. Lawrence Yun, NR's chief economist, suggested that sales seem to have bottomed out in the past month, and with a noticeable decrease in mortgage rates, more housing inventory is expected to enter the market, leading to a rebound in existing home sales. News Report 8. Xinhua reports that a fire broke out in the dormitory of the Yingkai School in Fangcheng County, Nanyang City, Hunan Province, on January 19, resulting in 13 deaths and 1 injury. Yingkai School is a private primary school, and most of its students are local boarding students. According to nearby merchants, the fire occurred on Friday night. On that day, most students were sent home by school buses, and only a dozen students who lived far away or whose parents were not present remained at the school. The report did not provide detailed information about the cause of the fire and the condition of the injured. It only mentioned that the head of the school has been brought under control. Local residents stated that there was almost no information about this major incident on Weibo, and the Hunan provincial government seems to have blocked the news, similar to the situation during the Hunan Rural Commercial Bank's bankruptcy incident. This news blockade has sparked criticism of local officials, with some considering it an irresponsible practice. It has also raised public questions about the behavior of local officials, indicating a tendency to control public opinion by blocking information during disasters or accidents. News Report 9. Japan's unmanned lunar explorer successfully landed on the moon's surface in the early hours of January 20, making Japan the 5th country, after the United States, the Soviet Union, China, and India, to achieve a successful lunar landing. The explorer is named Lunar Sniper, and is designed to analyze lunar mantle rocks, searching for evidence about the moon's origin, and studying lunar water resources, as water is a crucial resource for future human bases on the moon. However, there are reports indicating that the solar panels of the Lunar Sniper are facing issues, causing them to be unable to generate power normally. Currently, the explorer is relying on backup batteries to continue its operations. This problem may have some impact on the explorer's mission, but scientists and engineers are likely to seek solutions to ensure that the explorer can continue to fulfill its scientific objectives.